Good evening. Let's dive into one of the most contentious issue that is part of the current political discourse, and it has been part of from few years now in the United States. That is pharmaceutical pricing. President Trump has made bold claims about drug pricing system. And he says that the same drug coming from the same shelf, same company, same factory, costs 7 to 8 times more to U.S. taxpayers than to the other part of the world. The same drug coming from the same company, the citizen of US is paying like, for example, $16,000, while someone in other country of the world is paying like one tenth of that price. And due to these claims, has left many people questioning the fairness, both domestically and internationally. The arguments about price disparities between the US and the Europe, and what would be the broader implication of these practices, and that needs some analysis, especially after the today's announcement which President Trump did some time ago. So what you say is very clearly that the drugs manufactured in the same factory, same company, often priced 7 to 10 times higher in the United States than most European countries, including United Kingdom. The reasons which, like some of the reasons which came out in his speech, was first of them was that he points out the role of the government regulations in Europe. Like in Europe countries, pharmaceutical industry is heavily regulated, and that forces the drug manufacturer to sell their product at a lower price. If you can't comply with that, they won't purchase your drug. So if a company refuses to comply, the risk is being shut out of those market altogether. And so it exerts a significant pressure on this company to keep the cost in check. Now, when the cost is being checked by somewhere, and European Union is a big union, so uh, all the stress which is coming on selling the cheaper prices in these countries is going to shift somewhere. And unfortunately, according to President Trump, it is shifting towards United States citizen. So this is one of the driving factor behind the lower drug prices across Europe in contrast to US pharmaceutical companies. And in US, the companies have more freedom to set prices because the government is not very heavily regulating them. And that was making the prices astronomically high. He further emphasized in his statement that much of the research and development, this is important, and I feel US has always been hub of most of the research and development when it comes to electronics, when it comes to pharmaceutical, when it comes to many more things in the world, and it is a matter of pride for them. And it should be the matter of pride for them. But he points out a different angle from this, that he says emphasize that much of the research and development for new drug happen in United States. And as a leader of pharmaceutical innovation, said unsaid, the population of the US bears the brunt of R&D cost, and then which will be passed down to the taxpayers. So this is again adding up to the drug prices here. So and it has another impact, like R&D is being done in US, new innovations are being done in US. The cost of the innovation is being undertaken or is being burnt by the US taxpayers, but the benefit of that innovation is being taken by everyone where the drugs are supplied at a cheaper prices. So getting the complicated angles here, that's what Trump is trying to or was trying to highlight in his speech. Like for example, take cancer drugs. A breast cancer drug in US, the same treatment bottle, will roughly cost around $16,000, one bottle of $16,000, while same drug might cost one sixth to one tenth of the price in European countries. So now a question comes: why should the US public bear such a heavy burden for a system that benefits pharmaceutical companies and other nations? After all, US population being a very small portion of the global world population, still bears the higher cost for the pharmaceutical products. So the pharmaceutical companies made a lot of profit in the United States. So that means a small portion of population purchase are giving a highest profit to the companies. That also in itself is is a trend which says that someone somewhere is charging high to them. Why? What is the system running? That's what Trump is trying to confront. So is there a let's try to understand, is there anything solid behind the Trump's argument, or it just one of his argument? So I think his arguments does have some basis. The US makes up just 4% of the world population and yet is the largest market for pharmaceutical. As a result, drug manufacture makes a significant portion of the profit from American consumer. And Trump argued that this is not only unfair but unsustainable. But when we go more deeper, we need to ask what happens if the US tries to shift this pricing dynamics. Because now he's saying that the prices will be going down by 1/8 or 1/10 of what the current prices are immediately. And if the pharmaceutical companies doesn't do it voluntarily, then the federal laws will come into picture to do that. That's good. That's amazing for a United States of America. But now will this affect, will this make a change, or how is going to impact the other people now? So if now suppose if Trump's rhetoric around reducing drug prices leads to policy changes, we could see a ripple effect that not only impact the pharmaceutical industry but also the healthcare budgets globally. Like European Union have a healthcare budget, and by which they give a free healthcare to the citizens. Now, when the drugs are going to get costlier for them, the healthcare budgets are going to get disturbed. And then other thing is, and that could strain their national wealth program, which are already under pressure due to aging population, rising healthcare cost, and rising inflation, bad markets, and the war. Everything. So this is going to strain them further. Let's not forget the currency factor here. The US dollar is significantly stronger than many European currencies. Many US consumers are already facing a higher drug price in dollar terms compared to the European counterpart. If drug prices were to be adjusted downward in the US, the relative cost in the country with weaker currencies could still create disparities. Europe might demand further price increase, pushing the issue even further into political spotlight. Trump's strategy of using tariff as a leverage adds another layer to this complexity. While trying to reduce drug prices for Americans, he may, I'm just saying may, spark global trade war over pricing as countries will retaliate one way or other because it's going to affect them big time. But then there is an opportunity as well. This might help them to develop their local pharmaceutical companies in their own country. So it will increase the fair market, it will increase the competition. New pharmaceutical companies could come up locally. So yeah, so it's not gonna, it's like that, you can't say that it's always gonna have a negative impact for those countries, but this, they have an opportunity to utilize this situation for their benefit as well. But that can put even US at a disadvantage, because now if those countries forms a union and start making their own pharmaceutical companies or start producing the drugs locally, these companies will get into a loss. Anyway, as we move forward in 2025, this issue is likely to continue shaping the global conversation around healthcare. And to be honest, it's just not an American issue now. With these announcements rolled out by President Trump, it's now become a global issue. Now, as we continue to grapple with these questions, we must remain mindful of the delicate balance between protecting national interests and fostering global competition, cooperation in healthcare sector. Answers are not going to come easily, but the conversation this spark will certainly shape the future of healthcare worldwide. I don't know what you think about it. Do let me know in the comment. Thank you. Thank you very much.